Good morning, Year 4. It's Mrs. Collins here with today's maths. Pause the clip to write today's short date, the 1st of March 2021, and the learning objective, to identify equivalent fractions. Write this in your maths book and press play when you're ready to start. Okay, let's get started. For our warm-up this morning, each Chili Challenge group has got a number at the top. So the mild have the number 6, spicy has the number 31, and hot has 105. Choose which number you'd like, write that at the top of your page, and see if you can answer these questions about your given number. Give yourself 3 or 4 minutes, do as many as you can, and press play when you're ready to go through the answers. Welcome back. You can mark your answers with your blue pen or pencil if you don't have one. Let's have a look at the mild challenge first. You had the number 6, and this is how you write it in words. What's one more than 6? Shout the answer out. 7. What's one less than 6? 5. Can you multiply the number by 10? 6 times 10 equals 60. Can you divide the number by 10? Remember, the digits go one place to the right, 0.6. Give yourself a mark out of 5. Spicy, 31. This is how you write it in words. What's one more? Shout your answer out. 32. What's one less? 30. Well done. Can you multiply the number by 10? Remember, each digit is going to move one place to the left. 31 times by 10 equals, I should say, 310. Well done. Can you divide the number by 10? The answer would be 3.1. Let's have a look at the hot challenge. 105. Can you write it in words? There it is. Check your spelling. What's one more than 105? 106. What's one less? 104. Can you multiply the number by 10? 1050. Well done if you got that right. Can you divide the number by 10? 10.5. Well done if you gave that your best shot. We'll be having another go at this kind of activity tomorrow, so there'll be more practice coming up. Let's see what's next for our skills sharp. Okay, in this activity we're going to be learning how to halve numbers. We'll start easy and get harder as we go along. So how do we halve a number like 46? What does halving actually mean? So when we halve a number, we're actually dividing it by 2. We're splitting it into 2 pieces, or we're thinking how many 2's fit into this number. And you can do this easily by partitioning the number. So we've got 40 and 6. So we can say, what's 6 divided by 2? Or what's half of 6? And that gives us 3. And then we've got 40. What's 40 divided by 2? What's half of 40? 20. So we're left with 20 and 3. What do we need to do to find the answer? That's right, we need to add them together. 20 add 3 equals 23. So half of 46 equals 23. Let's have another go. Can you do it with me? I'd like to write this number in your maths book, making sure each digit has its own square, and draw 2 arrows using your ruler coming off each digit. We've got the number 41 this time. Let's see if we can halve it. So we're going to partition it. We've got 1, 1. So what's 1 divided by 2? Going to be a decimal number, isn't it? How do we halve 1? You might have remembered this from maths when you were at school. we always say that half of 1 is 0.5. If this was money and this was £1, half of £1 would be 50 pence. So we've got 0.5 at this side. Now let's have a look at the 4 tens. We've got 40 divided by 2, which is 20. So now we've got 20 and 0.5. So we need to add those two numbers together to find half of 41. 20 add 0.5 equals 20.5. So half of 41 is 20.5 or 20 and a half. You can say it both ways. Write that calculation in your book. Let's have a look at a 3-digit number. Write this number down in your book, making sure each digit has its own square. And use your ruler to draw the arrows from each number. We've got 652. Let's partition it and divide each number together. We'll start with the ones. What's 2 divided by 2? 1. You can write that at the end of your arrow. What's 50 divided by 2? Half of 50. 25, that's right. And we've got 600s, so we need to do 600 divided by 2. What's the answer? 300. Well done. And then we need to add these 3 digits up, so write the calculation at the bottom. 300, add 25, add 1. Can you do that brain only and write the answer? 300 add 25 add 1 equals 326. Well done if you gave that your best shot. Okay, let's practice this now. I'd like you to pause the screen there and have a go at the chili challenge that you feel most confident with. It's asking you to halve the numbers. Remember to write them neatly in your book, draw the arrows to each digit, and halve them by partitioning them first and then adding the answers together. Good luck! Welcome back, Year 4. Have you had a go at halving these numbers? Get your blue pen or pencil to mark with me and shout your answers out as I read the sentence. Half of 8 equals 4. Half of 12 equals 6. Half of 66 equals 33. Half of 30 equals 15. Half of 48 equals 24. Half of 27 equals 13.5. Half of 140 equals 70. Well done, especially if you got the decimal point one right there. Let's have a look at the next challenge. Shout your answers out. Half of 65 equals 32.5. Half of 102 equals 51. Half of 33, 16.5. Half of 270, 135. How many did you get right? Well done for giving it your best shot. Okay, pop your pencils down. Let's get ready to move on to our main lesson. So today we're going to be learning all about equivalent fractions. What does that word equivalent mean to you? It sounds like it's got the word equal in it, doesn't it? It comes from the root word equal. Equivalent means the same as. So we're going to be looking at fractions today that are equal to one another, that are the same as one another. Let's have a look together. So it says shade the bar models to find the equivalent fractions. So you can see on this top bar it's been split into halves. And the bottom bar has been split into sixths. But the bars are the exact same size. They've just got different pieces. So if I have a look at 1/2, and I just gently shade that in, what's that the same as in sixths? So look at the length of that, and let's shade the bottom bit in so that it's the exact same. How many sixths do we have? 1, 2, 3. So 1/2 is equivalent to 3/6. Let's have a look at the bottom one. We've got halves again. Let's shade 1/2. I've got 1/2 shaded. And then the bottom bar shows tenths. Let's shade the exact same amount of the bar, but this bar is split into 10 pieces. So what is 1/2 the same as? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1/2 is equivalent to 5/10. Does that make sense? Have you noticed a pattern with these numbers? What's the relationship? You might have noticed that 1 times 3 is 3 and 2 times 3 is 6. You might have noticed that 1 times 5 is 5 and 2 times 5 is 10. Because with equivalent fractions, we do the same operation to the numerator as we do the denominator. More on that a little bit later. Let's have a look at these. It's your turn. So, pause the screen and have a look. I'd like to know what's equivalent to 4/5 in tenths and what's equivalent to 6/8 in quarters. Pause the clip, see if you can write these sentences into your book and press play when you're ready to go through. Welcome back. Let's have a look at the answers. So 4/5, let's shade them in. 1, 2, 3, 4/5. What's that in tenths? So it's the same size bar underneath and we're shading up to the same point. So 4/5 is the same as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8/10. Let's have a look at the bottom one. It asks us to find 6/8. Let's shade in 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's that equivalent to in quarters? I'm going to shade the same amount and I can see that 6/8 is the same as 1, 2, 3/4. Do you notice a relationship between these numbers? 4/5 and 8/10. You might have spotted that 4 times 2 is 8 and 5 times 2 is 10. You might have spotted that 6 divided by 2 is 3 and 8 divided by 2 is 4. You'll see lots of patterns as we work on fractions. Okay, let's have a look at this fraction wall. It's really useful to help us find equivalent fractions. So the first question is asking us to find what 1/2 is in quarters. So I find 1/2 and I look at what that is in quarters. So I shade in 1/2 and then I see how many quarters underneath. That's the same. So 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. How many 8s are in 1/2? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 8s in a half. So 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4 and 1/2 is equivalent to 4 8s. I think we're ready to make a start year 4. In your pack you've got an activity sheet that looks like this. If you do get stuck at any point, you can email your teacher at the year 4 email address and they'll get back to you later on that day. Have fun with fractions, try your best, leave any you get stuck with, and have fun.